welcome to the remaining weeks of the Ironman 70.3 prep for Bolton. Now, I say remaining weeks because we're only 24 days out currently. I've literally spent this whole prep umming and ahhing about whether to do this series or not, what I really wanted to get out of it, and at the end of the day, I just want to look back at this as something that I'm pretty proud of. It's something that I absolutely never thought I was doing. I would do every session. I still think, how have I got literally how have I got to this position? I'm just gonna vlog it literally like I'm talking to myself. Like I'm not doing any expectations to anything or trying to make it look cinematic or anything like that. This is literally going to be raw, which we love, just like me. So one of the main things for any endurance event which people don't think about is nutrition and fueling. So this is my big box, Jack's big box of nutrition and fuel, let's say. So part of the brick sessions is practicing the nutrition as a whole, but also getting an idea of the nutrition plan for the actual race. So one, you know you're not going to have any digestion problems. Two, you know it's actually going to fuel you. And three, you just get used to it. We're basically going to have 80 to 90 grams of carbs an hour. So we've got the nutrition for today ready. What we're going to go for is we're going to go for 2 street waffles in the first hour back to back, because what I'm thinking and have tried is I don't want to have these later on in the ride. I want to have them as early as possible, just because they're more food based, whereas like things like the chews and the gels, I could stomach these whilst running anyway. So something like a food, I know I'll have stomach cramps if I have this a little bit later on in a ride and then get on the bike. So the idea is to have these early on to feel like I'm having food and then not feel like I'm cramping on the bike. So, and then we're gonna have a street waffle in the next hour with 4 of these chews. And then we're gonna have 2 of these on the bike ride as well. And then we'll have a gel just after the run as well. Not after the run, either at the start or in the middle. Not because I'm gonna need it today, because it's all easy paced work, but literally just to see how the strategy goes. What we're doing right now is literally opening up the food and putting it in the little saddle bag here, if it's even called a saddle. I don't think it's called a saddle bag. I think the one behind the seat's a saddle bag, but it's in the freaking bike bag. But it just means that with these being open, I literally just keep the bag open and then they're ready, locked and loaded, to just take out, eat, and then scrunch the paper down to get going. Now, we're doing hour 54 sweet spot intervals, so it's nothing too intense, but it's still enough to sort of get us by. It's still above sort of 50-60%, more around that 60-70 mark. And yeah, I need to do this electrolyte as well actually. But yeah, stay tuned for the workout, and then we've got the bike afterwards. A lot harder workout than I actually anticipated. I didn't read the full description before until I got on the bike, and then I was like, yeah, okay, it's gonna be a long day. But done basically intervals, 3 sets of 4 intervals basically, and then we moved into 5 minutes active recovery, then 4 sets of 15 minutes at 195 watts. So we've got the last set left. And then, yeah, bike like I said, but I'm enjoying it. I've got YouTube going, but it's hard. The bike stationary is very hard just because you're just very stagnant, which is why I watch YouTube. I never listen to music or podcasts or anything like that when running or in the gym, or out on the bike. But this is the only time where I feel like I'm gonna go crazy if I don't. So we got YouTube on, and yeah, we're gonna knock it out. So we just done the first part of the brick session. Felt pretty good as in a performance wise, but it was fucking hard, I'm not gonna lie. So it was a lot harder than I thought. I thought it would just be just ticking over, but it was quite intense. So now we've got 40-minute easy run. Nutrition has gone down quite well. So on the last part of it, as I said, don't really need it from a fueling standpoint. It's just about practicing. But yeah, gonna knock down a 40-minute run and slap back this gel. So we are currently 4 minutes in, feeling relatively good. Legs aren't in pain at the moment. The biggest thing I'm finding with the brick sessions is if it's not a pace coming off the bike and it's meant to be an easy run, I feel ready, like I'm like, okay, let me go. But sometimes I just have to remember to read it back in, because at the 70.3 it's going to be a half marathon, so I can't go out of blocks too quick after already like exercising for like 4 hours or maybe even over 4. So gotta just remind myself to keep it easy. But yeah, feeling really good. Again, nutrition feels good, so pretty confident with that side. So it's just about getting the performance in now. We got a lovely little hill to attack, so gonna get on with it.
on.
Brick session now complete. We did it at 6:29 pace, which is nice. It's maybe a bit too fast for an easy run, but we tried to keep the heart rate below 156, which is using a maffetone method, so 180 minus your age instead of using like the heart rate zones. So that's what we worked to. We stayed below that. We got to about 160, but it was on hill, so anytime I have a hill, the maffetone method or staying in your zone 2 goes out the window, and then it's just about keeping it as low as possible, then getting it back under control. So exactly what we did. Happy with it. Now time to refuel and then drive to London in about 2 hours time. So training day and a brick session complete. It's now time to basically do a bit of work, fuel up before, little bit of work, and then driving to London tonight. So it's going to be about 4.5 hours, I'm hoping, with no traffic, maybe 5 with stops. This is the first episode, I guess. Like I said, I'm not going to plan these videos. I'm literally just going to stick the camera on, be as authentic as just me, and yeah, go from there. But we got a long journey ahead, so time to refuel, time to work, and then crack on. But see you in the next vid.